All right,
Hello,
we're on.
we're on.
We're on. Welcome to the next couch time.
Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome from wherever you are.
Yeah, wherever you are, on all levels, mentally, emotionally,
Absolutely on
physically.
all levels.
Yeah, on all levels.
Everything is welcome.
Mhm.
Oh, bring it
Absolutely,
all.
because we're definitely holding it all as well.
We are.
Yeah, it's crazy days. Crazy
I,
days in
I,
a good way.
yeah, I really like your metaphor about the leaves. Um,
Yeah,
the winds of change, and then they've just blown up all these leaves, and then they're just tumbling down to the ground, and who knows where they're going to land, and how exciting is that?
yeah, I know. Well, it's like a reset,
How,
isn't it?
yes,
Because it's like,
yes.
boom, okay, you're not happy with this, right?
Mm,
Throw it
yeah,
up, and you
yeah.
get to actually watch each one, and you can focus in on different ones at
Mm,
different times to go, yeah, I like this, or oh no, I
mm,
definitely have to do that different. Yeah, I'm
mm,
really liking it. I was sitting out the I sent a little thing out to all you, a few of you anyway, um about the winds of change when I was sitting outside the other day. And I love I don't know, elements to me, just,
mm,
especially at the moment, wind and fire are just in within,
mm,
because it is
mm,
that winds of change space when you get that beautiful, when you can get into kind of a meditative thought even. And I'm sitting outside and I was going through whatever I was going through, and then the wind just went and came up in
mm,
front of me, and
mm.
I'm like, oh yeah. And the wind was going the opposite way to what it normally does when I sit out there. And I went, okay, acknowledge that there's change. There's change here. We're going through it. And then so many people were messaging me and talking to me, and they were going through the same thing. I'm like, yeah, winds of change are here. And when that happens, that's when they get thrown up. So it gets a
Mm.
little, it's like I say, that weed pulling time. And you've got to go, oh shit, hang on, let's just sort this out, because a few of these things don't actually fit right now.
No,
So yeah,
they need to be removed.
it can feel a little bit hectic, but when you can
Mm,
see it through joy, or see it, like we were talking about this before about
mm.
fear and excitement, it's the
Yes.
same thing, but just the
Mm,
same feeling, but just what we
mm,
attach to it. So we can either
mm,
be in fear or we can be in excitement about it. So yeah,
mm,
I'm ready.
mm. Yeah, and I think that was so I was just sharing with Dan that my son was suffering with anxiety, just over a few different things. And I just sort of been reading this book, and the process was that, normally if you're in a serious situation where you're driving a car and a car swerves in front of you or something, you instantly take action to swerve because your body's alert and it knows that it needs to get out of the way or die. And so you've got a heightened amount of adrenaline running through you. You go into fear and everything, but your brain knows that it's for a reason because it can see it all unfolding, the actions taken, and you can quickly sort of start to come back to feeling more calm. But when you start to create that sort of situation where, you start to tell yourself you're scared of speaking in public, or you're scared of, jumping off a cliff or whatever it is, and you haven't actually done anything, your system still has the same hormonal effect happening. You still go into fear, but your brain can't shut it off because it hasn't had to take action. And so this process is that as soon as you start to become aware that you're going into fear, you can just tell yourself, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited about speaking in front of this group, I'm excited about jumping off this cliff. And you just keep saying that 20, 30, 40 times, and eventually that action is enough to shut your brain off and go, oh, I'm excited. And depending on what it is and how much fear you've built up about it, you can start to shift that really quickly. So yeah, I thought that was a big aha moment for me. I'm sure I've heard it 1,000 times, but yeah, when you're ready, you really actually take it on board. So I'm trying that today when he comes home from school. I'm going to get him to keep going on his YouTube videos.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
trick
Definitely.
the brain.
And even that, because the fear and excitement is the same feeling as such, I guess it's just what I hear in that is that it's just that click of the brain, you know, whether the brain goes, oh, okay, is this fear? I have to click into action to get myself out of this, or does it click into excitement and allow the bubbles, you know, allow the joy to start to really heighten that moment and that experience, isn't it? It's just a little click. I've been noticing a lot to do with cogs this week, you know, like clicking the cogs into a different pattern through throwing up the leaves, I guess. And it's like, okay, this click used to happen this way, and now it's just going to adjust that tiny little bit and click in another way. So I always know when that's happening to keep breathing up and down my spine, because a lot of the time you're unlocking stuff that's been dormant and just waiting for that juicy moment to be able to ignite. So that's what I feel like that wind is part of, is breath, you know, really. You know, and when you do have those fear moments or the excitement moments, in all of them, it's just keep the flow going, you know, nothing has to grab on or tense up, you know, because then where does the energy go if you tense and holding that space? You haven't got any, there's no movement for it to be able to work too. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And I guess it's that whole it's all about that. It's really that whole thing which we mentioned last week about grow through what you go through. It's the same thing. It's just all of these little tools and techniques help you to see it in different ways, but it's all about keeping that energy just flowing, and whatever works, whatever makes you feel better is what you need to do.
Yeah, definitely. This week I've been finding well, she's always in my world, but I've been seeing her come out around the collective as such. This week is grace. And to me, that was linked in with the wind, because to me, as powerful and as full as she can come in, there's also this gentle graciousness, and it can happen with grace and ease. There doesn't, that again is that flip from, you know, fear to excitement, because you don't have to do it hard. You know, as humans, I think we've taken that on as, I was even saying to someone the other day, do you know what? Fuck the roller coaster. I'm not doing it anymore. It's done. It's done. It's done. You know, I used to think that was really fun. That, you know, the full on this and full on that and like crazy, wild, amazing me. I used to love that. I used to love that I was that person. And now I'm like, I don't want to do the climatic life. I want that orgasmic life now. And so, quite a few things have shown me how I could either go into roller coaster, or I can just go, okay, just let this settle. Just let this settle. And then make the action seems to then come even through the excitement when you do have that breath anyway, and then you go into the action. But if you try and dit so quickly, a lot of the time, well, I know I make the wrong decision. In a way, even though it's the right decision, but you know, if I had just breathed and just given it an hour, or given it a day, or given it whatever it was needed, I would have gone through a lot more stuff and cleared a lot more stuff for myself, and then I would know, like I know my yes and my no, a lot clearer. A lot clearer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. I think that's I don't know if that's part of the ride, but I totally get that up and down stuff, and mine's much more orgasmic now too. It's very much because I know on some level that I'm creating it, even though when it first hits, whatever it is, I just resist it. It doesn't take me too much time to come out and go, hang on a minute, there's something that needs to be released. There's blocked energy, and and it's still difficult to go into that discomfort. Some things become more easy, but when you sort of incorporate it throughout all areas of your life, it does become much more simple to make that decision to say what you need to say, to do what you need to do, whatever it is.
Yeah, just show up, really, isn't it?
Show up, yeah.
And show up with that grace. you know, as a
Yes,
power,
yes.
you know, that's beside you going, we can do this. We've got this.
Yeah,
Take a
yeah,
breath, and what do you need to
yeah,
do now? Yeah.
yeah.
I've also noticed that that seems to be, because that shift seems to be collectively happening for people, that coming into
Oh,
more of that orgasmic space
mm,
too, that our
mm,
physical bodies are having to do the weed pulling or the leaf, you know, throwing also.
mm,
So there's been a
mm,
lot of that that seems to be showing
mm,
up for everybody, that is a part of the shift, the
mm.
winds are changing space, because
Yeah.
our physical bodies have been are the densest part of us. So, you know, I've seen it showing up in pain and in illness and in, you know, all
Yeah.
of those things. And yeah, we can say, oh, well, it's winter, of course there's illness, but we know
Mm,
that it's all linked
mm,
to it as well. So yeah, our physical bodies are really coming to that space where they're able to actually hold all this new energy too. This and
yeah.
it's quite powerful, the energies, all the energies that are coming through over the last few months, especially.
Mm,
So, you know,
mm,
our physical bodies have had to go, all right, we need a bit of an upgrade here so that we can hold
mm.
this and then bring it so that our actions are very different in our
Yeah.
human world. So
Yeah.
just know that we're lightening up on all
Yeah.
levels, lightening
Ah,
up in
yes.
emotion, lightening up in physical, lightening up,
Yeah.
yeah, everything. We are just
Mm,
lighting up to be able to
mm,
shine our truth
mm.
out a lot clearer,
Yeah.
a lot clearer.
Yeah. Coming more into that alignment. And one of the other things that I found really useful this week was, you know, when someone's helping you to remember what you'd forgotten and emotions coming up,
Yeah,
I've been putting in an anchor point, because for me, I mean, I think we all know which people are going to trigger us the most.
definitely.
And so my anchor point has been, it's been lovely, because I've been going to Club Med on the plane, and it's just such a really great, like now I can just feel it, because I've
Yeah,
been doing it so often over the last few days, and it's like I've met the plane, the beach, and it's just such a vivid, like the picture just unravels, and I can see different things each time, and I know that it's all unfolding, but I don't know how it's going to happen. But the minute, you know, that particular person triggers me, it's like,
is
oh,
what's
Club
happening.
Med.
Well, it's
That's
find
it. And
your joy, isn't it? Find your joy in,
oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
whatever that looks like. Club, bed, who
Yeah, oh,
cares?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that's been really, really good, because while it's all going on, you can just be there in your head, just in Club Med at the beach, and
Drinking
all of this.
pilates, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then eventually they sort of look at you and go,
Where are you?
you know, I'm on the beach. Yeah, where's my pina colada?
Come join me. It's
So
beautiful
good.
out here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
it's
you can use
not
that
being
for
reactive,
people.
isn't it? Not being reactive
Yeah,
to it's giving you something.
totally.
You know, we all
Yeah,
need
yeah,
tools as
yeah.
we've started to learn how to
Mm,
do things differently. We need the tools, and
mm.
that's a great tool. Just
Oh,
what's visualize your joy, even when someone
yes.
might be in your
Yeah,
face. It's like,
yeah.
and what to
Mm.
me, what that does, I was just watching your energy as you were doing that. It
Oh,
brings you back to you. So, you
yeah.
know, sometimes when there's conflict or there's an angst of some sort, you can freak out
Mm,
a little bit and actually push your energy on the other person, or they
mm,
might be pushing their energy on you. And when you were
mm,
just talking about that, it's like this inner world within you
mm.
that
Yeah.
you actually not projecting or absorbing at that.
No.
And
Yeah.
that is
No.
gold. That is
Yeah.
absolute gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, great
Just
tool.
being in that neutral space,
Mm,
because I think a lot of us, well, I know me, I've always thought, oh, you know, that person needs saving, and that person did it. It's like,
no,
no, they don't.
no,
Actually, they don't.
no.
And it has brought me, yeah, it's really shown up a lot this week, and it's been fantastic, just in situations at work and situations at home, and it has been really good. And it's interesting how everything just starts to dissolve. And even at the supermarket today, I was blown away by how many gorgeous, gorgeous people. Like the lady at the
Yes.
checkout is going to Hawaii and she's done that. Like everyone was in holiday mode. And it was just, I was so loving noticing it and just being a part of it and listening to little snippets of conversations about, you know, they've booked this and they've done that. And it was really lovely. Everyone, like the guy at the counter when you come in was whistling. So it was just such a great trip to the supermarket.
Well,
and even though it can always
create your own reality, don't you? Like, instantly you're in that space and boom, everything starts to show up.
Yeah.
With so-called no effort, you know?
Yeah.
So beautiful.
It's just those thoughts. It's just like it's all of those thoughts that have led you to here now. So the more often you can use that anchor point and go into something that you really want and use it for different situations. Like I don't just have one, I have a few now because and then shifting from fear to excitement it's massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive. Very simple.
Probably the last one is that taking responsibility in the first place.
Yes.
You know, take for your part, and that we do create our own reality. So anything that shows up in our face, it's like, well, okay, I've asked for this. What am I going to do with that? Yeah. So that's when you can pull out a few tools and start to put them into play. And even if you go back at the end of the day and go over it and go, oh, hang on a minute, I didn't feel like I quite got that. Absolutely. But in those moments, when you're in your now moment with it, how brilliant is it to be able to, boom, I've got a tool.
Yeah.
Something simple and easy. No one ever has to know what you're doing, how you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's for you know?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. And I love that living it then, you know, like you've started to do it and you're just, it's becoming an automatic for you. And then when you, I had a day of that yesterday when I was in this most joyous space, and then I was watching everybody that I spoke to, they all interlinked because I was in that thing of, oh, wow, you know, we're so connected. We're absolutely so connected. And then everyone that showed up, LinkedIn, and all this stuff. And then one person was talking about one thing, then boom, the next person would say, oh, yeah, and the same thing. I'm going, oh, I still get excited about it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So
I totally do. It's
and
so
even
good
things, taking responsibility for the good things.
Yes.
You know, I'm putting
totally
that effort and that love into me and really delving into who I am and what I do and don't like and how I want to show up and then boom, I'm seeing the results of that and I like what I see. I
totally agree. It's very it's all about accepting all of it, the good things, the bad things, and even though, you know, on our human level we still have to judge things because that's all a part of it, but that those coincidences and things, just knowing, like this week at work some of the things that have happened have just been, and I think they're incredible, and I know that they'll probably start to be more normal, but it's like I'm talking about this and all of a sudden the phone rings and then another person turns up and it's all related. It's like, you know, you want to hear the music and have a producer go cut and you're like, yeah, that's a wrap. That's
exactly. That was a great episode.
So it was a great episode. It is, and it's not so amazing anymore because it just happens more and more and more, and it's so fun. It's
absolutely.
Like, who's this coming in the door?
And what am I going to find today? Like, how are these things going to interlink today? And then you just basically let it go, show up, and boom, 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 it's giggles all around because you're like, oh my God, It gets your juices flowing, doesn't it? It adds to that joyous feeling. It allows it to keep moving, and I think that's the key really to finding that orgasmic life. Yes, definitely.
And the other thing that I've been noticing is that the first thought. So when you become conscious of your environment and, you know, like have a certain awareness, just noticing the first thought and acting on that. And that has been really, really powerful. And I've also been reading the 5-second rule, which is, it's fantastic. So it's in any moment it's just another tool. You feel like the first thought's there and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to say that, or I don't want to open up, and you just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you do the uncomfortable thing or the thing that you really don't want to do. And it's like bouncing out of bed in the morning. The minute you get up, it's done. It's only a very simple decision, but that can change everything in your world.
Definitely.
And it's the same so for me, one thing I've been playing with is opening my heart. So in different situations, when different, friends, whoever sort of say something, and it's like, then I 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I open.
Yes.
And it has been getting better, but it's been so uncomfortable to be that vulnerable. And there's been a few instances where, I've had like I was telling you before, I was just staring into the eyes of this person and I could feel like, I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. And then it passed. And then everything, it was like a movie set, and then everything was back to normal. And there was this, and I felt so good that I was able to just open my heart to it, because I did not want to.
Absolutely. Well, that's
but I did.
Just going through, whenever anything like you say opening heart, doesn't really matter what part you're going into, but that to me is you just went right through that, and you weren't going to, like, the lock eyes for you was really important to be able to hold until you got through that. Because if you had looked away, it would have, kind of broken it,
Yeah.
And it's that uncomfortable feeling of going right through the middle of something, and how quick it's done.
It was so quick, Dan. It was like literally we locked eyes it felt like forever, but it was really quick.
Yeah.
And then the other interesting thing was that person came back and said to me, they said that I can't remember how they said it, but they wanted to be more like me and not complain. And then there was this whole thing and it was like, wow, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a different thing coming towards me, and then it was like, and I think I'd given up a lot of my need to be right and decided that I wanted to be happy in that moment. So it was like, just happened so quickly, and it wasn't easy, but it was simple.
Yeah.
Simple to just, like you say, breathe or just come inside and just feel what needs to be felt.
And so that when you first hit that, as you're going through anything, when you first hit that, the intensity of that can be so full on, and that can cause that uncomfortable, or that, I've got to look away, or I've got to get out of this situation, or I'm going to freaking run, that. But when you can hold that intense, it is an instant, like as intense as that feels, it can dissipate just as quickly. So
it did turn to love really quickly. You're right. It was literally 3 seconds.
Yep. It might have felt like 3 hours, but
it did. It felt, I can still feel it now. It was like, but the release was so delicious. And wow, it was amazing.
That's definitely an invite, isn't it, to everybody, when that intense feeling, just hold it. And it's not even hold it in that you got your claw to it. It's just hold that space.
Yeah.
And let yourself go through it, because it will be quick. It definitely
breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anchor it in.
Whatever the situation.
Yeah. Whatever you need. That's awesome.
Yeah. It is
I reckon we've done about 20 minutes.
I reckon that's enough. That's a lot to Thank you everyone so much for listening, and hopefully some of these little tools will be useful, because I know they're changing my life big time.
Me too. And if there's anything that you guys have out there, any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to get in touch with either of us, or add a comment when we post these videos of anything. If you've got topics or questions that you want answered, we'll throw it in there. We like throwing things in the pot.
Throw it in the mix.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Well, enjoy, guys. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you again very soon.
Okay, bye. Love you. Bye.